All right, day two of I guess revising, or just making a better outline. So I looked at like what plot lines have been done. So I kind of sorted it into like four plots to like pay attention to, and then like some character arcs so that I can like figure out which things I need to move along. It helps a little bit, I guess. So at the end of chapter two, it was like dad thing, and then mom being sad, and then now Moon will go on to consonance, which is the equivalent of Discord. And then Julian and Moon will talk, and then they'll kind of like characterize. We'll do some characterization, and then and then this is how Moon reveals like Luna, all the Luna stuff to Julian. So, and then the idea of like asking the counselor to like interrogate the extroverts that comes up, all that stuff, and then that's how we get to the invitation to sit. So that kind of moves it along to chapter three, where we go back to school, and then now we got to introduce Jules. So it's lunch, and then they go to the table, but by coincidence, like Luna's table is like two away from Moon's, or the Julian's. So that's kind of like that. And then we introduce Jules, and then like we kind of start the dynamic of Moon being like the better person than Julian. So up until this point, Jules has only known Julian as for Jules, Julian has been the only like half friend, but now Moon is here. So like initially, Jules is like, "Who are you?" and a little like hostile, but Moon shows himself to be like technically a better person, so she warms up a little bit to him, and they like talk at recess, and then this is how they get to like. Well, we reveal a little bit of like Jules' backstory, which has something to do with like asking out Alex and then just getting made fun of and destroyed socially. So that's why she's like withdrawn and like suspicious of everyone. So that's a little bit of that is revealed, but Moon doesn't know it's Alex yet. Julian does know it's Alex. So maybe like once Moon and Jules eventually turn against Julian, Julian will use that as like a blackmail thing or something. I don't know. And then like they decide on Alex, and then they consider Lily, who's like the equivalent of Alex but for female. But then they realize they're kind of in the same group, so they want to branch out. So Moon then suggests Luna, and then Moon tells the story again, leaving out the fact that he likes Luna. They don't know that. The only thing they know is like all the stuff about like the social stuff, introvert, extrovert. So that happens, and then that's kind of how recess ends, and then we'll go to humanities, and then something will happen there.